Hey ghouls, Terror Krueger, the sweetest psychopath you'll ever meet, and welcome back to my channel. Hey ghouls, welcome back. Today we are doing another film review. This time we are actually going over a fan-made film, and I'm super excited. I've never done anything like this before, so forgive me if I judge harshly. I do try to take in consideration that this is a fan-made film. This was like, you know, not some Hollywood produced movie. But going into that, we're gonna go discuss the plot, the characters, the acting, everything in it. Real quick, there's going to be spoilers. I put spoilers in all my videos if I do a review of a movie, because I'm not going to do a spoiler-free review, because if that's the case, then just watch the trailer. I like to get into detail about all the movies I cover here. So I actually stumbled across this one on accident. I was working out and I had random videos on. I was watching like alternate versions of like all from the Scream movies, the openings, the endings. Yes, that's what I do on my spare time. And I was watching some alternate scenes, and then this one just randomly started on its own. And like since I was in the middle of like working out, I didn't want to like stop and look for something else. And then I slowly realized like, hey, wait, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's like a fan film. I honestly assumed it was like older, like maybe at least a year or so, a couple months. I thought I was late to the party, because you know a queen is always tardy at the party. But it actually only came out 9 days ago, so I was like, bitch, let's make a video about it, reviewing it. So I actually watched it twice already, just so I can get like my proper opinion here. Real quick, let's get into the plot of the film. So of course this is following like the Scream story. It does take place, I believe they said 25 years after Scream 3, which is the one that takes place in Hollywood, where it kills like all the celebrities and stuff like that. And Sydney's daughter, which they reveal later, returns to Woodsboro to go visit her grandfather, Neil Prescott, Sydney's father, her grandfather, and a string of killings starts happening again. Like, I have to give it to them. The opening of the film, oh, real quick too, I'm gonna go ahead and give you my brutally honest review. But as a major Scream fan, I'm gonna go ahead and give my honest and true opinion. I feel like other reviews I had watched for this, after I watched it twice already, one of them in the comments of the actual movie itself, which will go ahead and be linked down below, commented like, oh, thanks for the shout out. So of course his review was like 5 stars, and then another one I saw, he was actually sent the film early and watched it and gave it 5 stars. No one is paying me to watch it. No one gave it to me for free to watch. This is literally, I stumbled across it on my own by accident, and I'm going to give you my 100% honest opinion about the film. You know, as a horror fan, as a Scream fan, as my duty as a YouTuber here, I'm gonna just give you like what I honestly thought about it. If you watched my previous videos, you know I'm just brutally honest about what I thought about it. So it is called Scream Legacy, and like I said, it takes place 25 years after. The opening of the film was really good. That's what actually really caught my interest. Was there's a psychiatrist, an older man, who is closing up for the day, you know, closing up his office or whatever, and he gets a call from Ghostface, and the voice is actually pretty good for it not being the traditional, like, obviously couldn't get the guy who did Ghostface's voice to do it, but they got pretty close. It was really good. He's asking information about Sydney Prescott, of course, because later on we do find that the psychiatrist was her doctor. He had treated her years ago, of course, for all the trauma she went through for 3 films. Did I mention it? I probably mentioned it. In case I didn't, they don't count Scream 4 and 5 in this timeline. It just jumps 25 years after part 3. Sorry if I did mention that already. I'm not sure if I did. So the opening kill is the doctor and a janitor. The acting of the older man who plays the doctor was really good. I thought he was like an amazing actor. I don't know if he's done anything else or like a small-time actor or whatever, but I thought his performance was really good. So the kills happen. I do love the way that they filmed like the whole thing of like Ghostface taunting him when he goes and chases him down and kill him. I thought that was pretty good. Ghostface looks good. He has his like glittery black robe that you kind of like. It's kind of a little turned up more in this, but I dug it. I loved it. And then we can meet our final girl. Like I said, the production of this film was amazing. It didn't feel like I was watching some homemade, recorded off some bullshit, like with bad audio, bad acting. Like the acting for the most part, for most of the people, was pretty good. The plot was pretty okay. I don't know, right away with one of the first lines, like I said, spoilers, she's gonna go meet her best friend because she's in town. Sydney's daughter is in town. I think her name's Katie. Um, she's in town and she's gonna go meet up with her best friend, and then her best friend mentions like, "Oh, we're here at some bar. If you want to come meet us." And she's like, "We are?" And she's like, "Yeah, I have a friend with me." And I was like, "Killer." And was I right? Yes, I was. That was just my thing with the movie, is that there was a little, it was a little predictable for me. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I said, I just like right away I caught on to things. And one of the things that like for me that kind of kept taking me out of the film was that for it being like a Scream film, or at least related to a Scream film, it kind of went off more of the series for me than it did the actual films, because what this was missing was the humor and like the whole meta of the film. Yes, I guess that I get that there was like Easter eggs all over the film and this and that, but what lacked it for me was that the characters were kind of like, it was like, I don't know. I don't know. If what lacked it for me was kind of like how usually in the Scream universe, the characters are really aware that they are in a situation that involves a killer and there's rules to follow. And I just didn't get that from this. There was no humor in it, so I'm kind of just watching the straightforward, like, serious Scream movie. But there's never a point where like they throw some humor in there or anything like that, like nature. So it's kind of just like, honestly, for me, a bit flatlined. Like, I got that I was watching a horror movie, but like I said, I found it to be quite predictable. Like every jump scare, although one jump scare I loved, where they're talking to this girl named Zoe, who honestly her little character just annoyed the shit out of me. Um, and no shade to the actual actress, like whatever. Her character annoyed me, and I didn't think she was that great of an actress. I'm sorry. And it could not be her fault. It could be just like, you know, a countless number of things can go wrong in production. One scene I did like with her is she's doing like a horror podcast. Like she's like, I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, like I do this, that, whatever. Like she's like a horror crime podcast or whatever. And immediately after she ends her segment, she gets a call from the killer. And I don't know, I feel like the script was just a little too like, I don't know, they could have played with it a little better. I'm just being too critical, I don't know, but she was just very much like, who's this? Stop joking, I'm calling the cops. I always find it funny when like someone's being stalked by a killer and the person threatens someone like, you better cut it out or I'm calling the police. I'm like, if they're crazy enough to go kill you, I don't think they care about the police coming, you know? But anyways, after she goes outside to check, she walks back in and you see like a silhouette of Ghostface in her living room, and you kind of see that it's his mask, so you're like, oh shit, there he is. And then it ends up being like one of those like Halloween like figures that just move and talk. I thought that was clever. I love that part. I really did. Then he calls her back and he's like, I'm in the garage, and they pay a little homage to like Tatum, or she hits him with the freezer door. And then the part that kind of just really took me out of it was after she's like running away, she opens the freezer door and hits him in the face, and she like falls to the floor because she slips. And then she's like all of a sudden like extremely injured, paralyzed, that she's like slowly crawling away. Like, bitch, you tripped, get up, there's a guy with a knife after you, you know? But somehow that injured her and she's like crawling away, and then of course Ghostface stabs her to death. And then you meet her mother, Katie's character, Sydney's daughter's in the cemetery. She's visiting her grandmother's grave. There's a lot of little red herrings in there. Like, you get this lady named Becky, who was supposed to be Sydney's like friend from back in the day, like very rudely and forcefully like, I want your mom's number, knowing sure as hell is what the character went through. And like, she's obviously in hiding, and she's like, oh, I knew her, like, give me her number, give me her number. Like, I don't know. And then after that, she mentions that the girl who got killed was her daughter, Zoe or whatever. But then you never ever like hear about it again. Like, the cops get called to a kill, and it's the doctor and the janitor, but never again do they mention Zoe or her being discovered. You know, the mom literally says when she leaves, oh, I'm gonna go pick Zoe up because we have a family dinner, and then it's like never ever brought up again that this character was killed. I don't know, some of the placement, I feel like these people are just added in here to be killed or be a red herring. Like I said, I'm not trying to be too critical. Like, it is a fan film and they did what they could do, but there was just another part, like when Katie finally returns to her grandfather's house, Neil Prescott. She finds him dead. she acts like she's trapped in this house, which kind of was like really irritating me. Like at any point, if you walk into a house and someone's dead, the first thing you're gonna do is get the fuck out of there. No, she does try to get out. Ghostface attacks her. She locks herself in a bedroom, and the only reason she comes out is because she hears her friend has come over and is looking for her. And then in my sense, I would have probably called my friend as soon as I called the police and been like, hey, I know you live across the street. I just got attacked. Stay inside, lock your doors. Or like, you know what? I'm going to try to jump out this window and go run to your house to hide out over there, you know? Something. But no, the girl just comes over, and this was like, honestly, the part was kind of ridiculous to me. So like, the girl literally walks up to the counter, places the gift down, turns around to talk to the girl, and the girl's all panicking, Katie. And she's like, oh my God, there's a killer in the house. My grandfather's dead. And she's like, what's going on? And then she's like, we gotta get out of here, there's a killer. And literally, I just, in my head, there's no time at all passes where she's like, puts the gift on the counter, turns around, her friend's there, they're talking, and she's like, there's a killer in here. And obviously like, oh, he's gonna pop out, because she's like, where is he, and then he literally just pops up behind her. Like, was he in the sink, was he in the garbage disposal? Like, did he just like fucking baby crawl it up behind her to pop out? Like, it was a little ridiculous for me. I'm sorry if I'm being critical, and that was just like, whatever. I don't know, I just thought that was like, it made me laugh. I get it was supposed to be scary, but it just made me laugh, because I'm like, where the fuck did he come from? Did he, like, literally in my head, he baby crawled behind her and was just like, okay, I'm gonna pop up now, and stabbed her. Then she tries to run out of the house a second time, and then bam, her ex-boyfriend's there. Also, he was like a red herring. It was just all very predictable. Like, first of all, too, like, if someone's after me, bitch, and I'm trying to run out of a house, and multiple times, could happen at least 3 times, where people stop her from running out of the house because they're talking to her, what's wrong? It's like, bitch, we'll talk outside, we'll talk on the fucking porch, we'll talk in the middle of the street, but there's someone in here trying to stab me. I'm trying to get out of this damn house. Of course, I'm not gonna let her. She thinks she's a killer. Of course, bam, she's like, I don't trust you. Bam, killer pops up behind them. They run into the garage. And little details. I'm repeating myself. I feel like I'm being too critical of it, but I just feel like these are simple mistakes that could have been taken care of. They run into the garage to get away from the killer, and instead of like immediately pressing the button so the door goes up, they literally just run to the garage door and start like trying to lift it up. And it just reminded me of like those old movies where like they don't even try like twisting the doorknob. They're just like lightly pounding on the door because the killer's coming. They could have at least like, I don't know, thrown in a line like, the button's not working to make the garage door go up, so we didn't just see them run to the garage door and try to lift. I don't know. I thought it was ridiculous. Of course, killer gets in, kills the boyfriend. She runs out, and there's a third time stopped by the police to get out of the house. They drag her back in. And also, from the time she called the police till these guys showed up, that took a long time. I'm just saying. And then these other 2 policemen that were also helping, they eventually show up. This killer is pretty skilled because he does kill them all. Like, I do have to say, the actor who did play the stuntman, who was Ghostface, was pretty good at it. He was a good, believable Ghostface. I liked how the brutality of him and like him slashing and stuff was. I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought he was pretty good. And the main actors, I thought she was like spot on. That was great casting in my opinion. She looked like she could be related to Sydney. She very looked the part and like fit the whole like, I don't know, Scream universe. Like, I don't know, like I just really loved her performance, and I really loved the way she like, I don't know, I just felt like, okay, this is a girl who belongs in the Scream films. Like again, I just said I wish there was a little more humor in it, and you know, some more meta like there usually is. But with that said, okay, and then like I said, automatically right away, I knew who the killer was. It was the best friend's, like, I guess boyfriend friend that was at the bar with them. And you know, for the most part, the plot and the reasoning was really good, but I feel also, well, this was probably also, like, the script and all that was written before the release of Scream 5, and I think this would have been great if, like, even though they don't count Part 5, I just kind of felt it was a little repetitive, and that's not their fault. This is literally just because that movie just came out. But the killer ends up being the girl's boyfriend, who ends up being the brother to Billy Loomis, and is killing all these people because he's trying to find Sydney and take revenge because they killed his brother and they killed his mother. Like I said, I thought it was pretty good because Billy Loomis killer part 1, his mother is the killer in part 2, and then this legacy film, it's the brother taking revenge on the family. But I just feel like it was kind of like, repetitive, because we just had Scream 5, and the whole, like, she's not the killer, but like the whole like, oh, this is Billy Loomis's daughter, blah blah. Like, I feel like it's a bit overdone already. Can we just move on from Billy Loomis and just have new killers and like new reasonings or whatever? but I don't know. And then like there's a fight between Katie and the killer. I believe his name's Danny Loomis. Like I said, it was kind of predictable. When the cops like, let's get out of here. When he finally says, let's get out of here after like everyone's been killed, he gets shot. I was like, he didn't die. He's gonna come back and save her. So she's having this altercation with Danny Loomis. He gets the upper hand, is about to stab her, and then right on cue, he gets shot and killed. And then they redo Scream 1, where she shoots him in the head as he comes back for one last scare. And then at the end, I did really like the part where she's walking away with the best friend's sister after like they killed him, and she picks up her phone to call someone, and you hear Sydney's voice, and they use like the clip, the audio of Sydney saying hello when Tatum calls her, and she wakes up on part 1 right before her attack scene. She calls her, she's like, "Mom," and I was like, oh, okay, that's cute, that's cute. Like I said, I do appreciate the film. You could tell these people were Scream fans because a lot of references that were in the film honored like Wes Craven, the old films like itself, like the music in it, the part where she goes and discovers that her grandfather's dead and the TV randomly turns on, and she's watching A Nightmare on Elm Street 1. I did appreciate like the Easter eggs and stuff like that. If you are a Scream fan, I really do recommend checking out this film and getting an opinion for yourself. Like I said, opinions are like assholes and we all have one. So was it like the best for me? I mean, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it was like, oh my god, I love this. So if you are a Scream fan, I would recommend definitely checking it out. I'll have it linked down below so you guys can just click down there and find it. Like I said, although like it wasn't my favorite, I do have a high respect for people who make horror and who appreciate horror as much as I do. Like I said, those are just my little tips about it, of what I wish was in it and what wasn't. But like I said, it is a fan-made film. They don't have the ability to create like what Scream 2022 was, you know? But for the most part, they did a good job. The movie looked amazing. The cinematography was amazing. Like, just the way it looked was beautiful. Like, I have to give it to them. That was amazing. And for the most part, most of the actors are pretty good. I love the main girl, Katie. She was really good in it. Even her friend was really good in it. I did like it. Like, the guy who played Danny Loomis, Cutie, he was really good at it. He really played up the psycho pretty cute. I thought the acting was pretty good for the most part. And usually that's what can break like a fan-made film, is just horrible acting. But for the most part, like I was really into the actors and like their performances. So I thought that was great. Go ahead, take a look down below, find that link. While you're down there, also I have all my user tags, so go ahead and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all that good shit. I have my Cash App down below if you want to tip this witch. But until the next time, this is Terror Krueger. So stay spooky, and I'll see you ghouls later. Bye.